One of the most important skills that a system analyst can develop is the ability to gather the right information so that the new system requirements are accurate and complete. So there are several methods that can be used to gather information. Some are more effective and efficient than others. And the most common methods are the following. First, interviewing users and other stakeholders, distributing and collecting questionnaires, reviewing inputs, outputs, and documentation, observing and documenting business procedures, and researching vendor solutions, and collecting active user comments and suggestions. So these are all information gathering techniques. And we will look at how we're going to do each of these. So first is interviewing users and other stakeholders. So this is the most frequently used method because it is the most information rich. However, it is also the most time consuming. There are 5 steps that analysts usually do. You prepare detailed question, meet with individuals or group of users, obtain and discuss answers to the questions, document the answer, follow up as needed in future meetings or interviews. So, whether in informal meetings or formal interviews, or as part of a questionnaire or survey, analysts ask questions. But which questions should analysts ask? So this table right here shows 3 major themes that guide the analyst when they are asking questions to define system requirements. It also shows sample questions that arise from these themes. So in the first question, what do you do? The focus is on understanding the business function. In most cases, the users will provide answers in terms of the current system. As an analyst, you must carefully discern which of these functions are fundamental business functions, which will remain and maybe possibly be eliminated with an improved system. The second question, how do you do it? Or generally, how can it be done? It moves the discussion from the current system to the new system. So the focus here is on how the new system should support the function rather than on how it is performed under the existing system. So thus, the first 2 questions, what do you do and how it can be done, go hand in hand to discover the need and begin the definition of the system requirements in terms of the new system. And the final questions. So generally, it focuses on what information is needed, defines specific information that the new system must provide. So the answers to the second and third questions from the basis for the definition of the system requirements. If when the analyst focuses the investigation around these 3 themes, he will be able to ask intelligent, meaningful questions in his investigation. So questions can either be open-ended, which allow the stakeholder to discuss and explain, or close-ended, which are useful for getting specific facts and numbers. So open-ended questions such as how do you do this function encourages discussion and explanation, and close-ended questions such as how many forms a day do you process. So it is are used to get specific facts. Now, how do you do an interview? So an interview with a user or stakeholder requires planning and preparation. Without proper preparation, the interview can waste valuable time and can even fail to discover important information. Every successful interview requires preparation. So the first and most important step in preparing for an interview is to establish the objective of the interview. And then you determine which users should be involved in the interview, and you should also determine which project team members to participate. And then the next step is to prepare detailed questions and issues to be discussed or to be used for the interview, and also the related documents and materials that you will use. And lastly, it is important that you will arrange the time, you will set the time and location and inform all participants of the objective, time, and locations. So during the interview or during you conduct the interview, new systems analysts are usually quite nervous about conducting interviews. So, however, in most cases, the users are excited about getting a better system to help them do their jobs. So, practicing good manners usually ensures that the interview will go well. So, here are a few guidelines. You should arrive on time, look for exception and error conditions, probe for details, take true notes, and identify and document unanswered items or open questions. So here are the following are example is an example of a agenda for an interview session. Obviously, you do not need to conform exactly to a particular agenda. So this is for the setting, and then the interview or the discussion questions, and then how do you follow up with your interview with the stakeholders. So analysts often document the details of the interview by constructing models of the business processes. So as you end the interview, you should review your notes for accuracy, completeness, and understanding. And then you transfer the information to models and documents. And then identify areas needing further clarification. Of course, you should thank the participants, and then you follow up on open and unanswered questions.